So I was today years old when I realized something about our journey here in life. And this is going to sound crazy to some people. It might resonate with some people. I don't know, but I'm just going to say it. So all of the things that we have been going through, and I even want to say this is the answer to some of the heaviness that some people go through that you don't know where it came from. You don't know why you're depressed. You don't know why things trigger you. You don't know why certain things are more important than other things when it comes to just living life and having, your morals, your goals, your dreams, and everything. This is really important. This is where science crosses paths with spirituality. If you believe, and you've been watching CSI and all these other shows, Criminal Minds, and all of these shows that talk about forensics, I hear spiritual forensics. Now, you sometimes go through these situations of triggering and situations of like deep, like sometimes it's not even depression. Sometimes it's just like a heaviness. You just don't know why. A lot of times it has to do with past traumas, and I'm not going to say they don't have anything to do with you, because they do. It's you were with your parents when they experienced their trauma. Don't shoot the messenger. You were with your parents when they experienced their trauma. You were also with your grandparents when they experienced their trauma. You were with your great-grandparents and your ancestors when they experienced their trauma. And one thing that kept on jumping out at me is even when people were being put on ships and forced into slavery and other things, Holocaust, everything, you were with these ancestors who you're connected to. You were with them when they experienced their trauma. And that's a lot of times the reason why you are experiencing the things that you go through and you don't understand and you can't even explain it. But it's up to you to go forward and cleanse it and to heal it. Which is why it's so important for the world around us, our society, to fix things that have been done by our ancestors of the past, the bad decisions of the past, because we were with them when it happened. And don't shoot me down when I say this. You know where you came from. Forensically, your DNA comes from, and that's why everyone is so excited when they get their DNA reports. Their DNA reports say that they are part of such and such and such, who is the lineage of blah, 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 blah. That's why even in the Bible, they have these recounts of so-and-so begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so. Why is this all important? You were the seed inside of your parents, who were the seed inside of their parents, who were the seed inside of their parents. You didn't just happen up on here. You have, I hear, residue. You have taken the residue of all the generations that have come before you, and all of the things that have not healed, all of the things that have not been corrected, all of the things that have not been resolved. It is all a part of you. And it is your responsibility to heal. It is your responsibility to correct in a spiritual manner all the things that you are actually a part of. Yes, it was not supposedly your choice, but you were with them and you chose to be part of that lineage. And why you say, I didn't choose to be in my family. You know what? I'm a biblical person. I don't, I'm not even going to get into all that, but there's some things I believe and some things I don't believe have to do with any of this. But there are scriptures that say, before you were in your mother's womb and you were formed, I knew you. And some people always say that that has to do with the reason why God has a plan for you. And also, to me, what popped out at me is like, you had a personality, you had a character, you were already a person before you came to this earth. So when people fight back and forth about spirituality versus Judaism versus whatever, versus, if all of these scriptures in different traditions are backing up the fact that you are coming from God, you were appointed by God, and or you chose to come down here. You chose to do this work because you knew God before you came here, is what I'm trying to say. You knew God before you came here. So he talked to you and you had a conversation. He knew you were the one for this job, the one to be able to save your lineage, the person who could heal your line. And there are things that you are called to do. You may or may not want to, but guess what? You have to go through some of these things in order to get to the other side, to be that healer. Okay? You cannot heal when you're an unhealed person. And you can't continue to live life as if nothing happened and there's nothing, wrong with you, because it's not all about you. You are not here just for you. You are here to heal that line. And there are spiritual components and there are scientific components. But you were the apple that you were the you were the seed and you're the apple. You are the tree. You are all three. You are the person that is connected to a certain path, to a certain line. And there are a lot of apples that fall off the tree. But there are a lot of apples that don't make it because they refuse. And some, just because of circumstances, they don't max out their destiny. And I say max out their destiny, I don't know where that came from. But some fulfill part of their destiny and they don't do the whole thing. Why? Don't know. Not worried about it. But because you found this message, and if it resonates with you, even part way, you know it's true. You were with your family, your ancestors, when they went through the trauma that they went through, because the seed is in the apple that fell off the tree that was grown from a seed that came from an apple, that came from a tree, that came from a seed, that came from an apple, that came from a tree, that came from a seed, that came from an apple, that came from a tree. This is called the circle of life. If you love The Lion King, I can hear the song right now. The circle of life. You are part of the circle of life, and the circle of life is not just being born, doing your little thing, going to college and making money and then dying, having some kids and then dying. It's not. You're supposed to be doing something, even if it's as little as healing your maternity and paternity line. So, I don't know if somebody needs to be out there getting a DNA test. I don't know if that's a sign for you or if DNA tests could be significant. But for me, it was like a light bulb moment when I realized I was with my mother when she went through the traumas that she went through. I was with my father when he went through the traumas that he went through before I was born. And as we are continuing down that line, everyone has loins. They have organs where they carry the future generations inside. In my head, I see the Empress card, because she carries everything inside of her. Matter of fact, there's one that I have. There's a card that has an Empress card that has the world as her stomach, or her stomach is painted as the world, and she has generations and generations. That's what it means to me. Generations in her womb. And like I said, it's coming from both sides. So, have you ever, I don't know why this is coming up, but twins. You ever heard of twins not knowing each other for their whole lives, and they meet each other, and then all of a sudden it's like everything clicks. They realize that they have a lot of the same issues. They have a lot of the same, quirks. There's, my stomach is growling. There's a lot of the same, and they didn't know each other. They didn't call each other up and say, hey, today I'm about to do this and I feel this way, so you need to feel this way. No, they're connected. Their energy is connected. Their spiritual background is connected. I hear familiar spirits, because that's what I was told when I was growing up. You have familiar spirits. You have spirits that are surrounding you, good and bad. That good and bad, good and bad, that remember the trauma that you went through. Oftentimes, you don't remember the trauma that you went through, or you don't remember the trauma that your parents and your parents' parents went through, but guess what? You were there. You felt it. Sometimes it's a random trigger. You don't realize it's a random trigger. Someone says something or does something, and it puts you on, and you wonder why you had that issue. Or you're dreaming something and you know that dream has nothing to do with you, but for whatever reason it affects you that deeply. And I don't know why I was led to say this, but I am. So if you're still here, thank you so much for listening. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 on the clock. I am always seeing that number, 1 2 3 4. Lately I've been seeing that number. I went through my period of only seeing 1111, only seeing 111, or only seeing 555. But right now I'm seeing 1 2 3 4, if that's significant to somebody. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that is what's deep in my heart. You were with them when they went through their trauma. You have been sent here to heal that line and do what they could not do at that time. 1313 on the clock. You were with them. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. There's light shining down on it now. And you know now. And that is your cue to just go forward and do what you know you have to do. And in my head, I hear, take it one step at a time. I hear 1 2 3 4. Take it one step at a time. This is not a race. This is not a race. It's not a competition. This is you choosing your destiny, choosing the blessings that come along with some of the hard times. Because there are blessings that come with the hard times. You have to go through these hard times. I just talked to a friend, or online, I was talking to a friend who was going through a situation, and it was so frustrating. I know it has been, because it's like you go months and months with you have an issue. You've been going months and months. Things have not changed, but keep going. Keep going, because it gets better. And quite often I hear eliminated. I hear eliminated. I hear terminated. Something is about to be terminated. Something is about to be eliminated. I hear just keep healing. Keep healing. Keep healing. All right, I'm going to go. But I just wanted to post that. It's heavy on my heart. I know somebody needs to hear it, even if it's just one person. This is the part where I ask you to subscribe or follow or drop an emoji or say something in the comments to let me know that I resonated with you. But definitely, whether you do it or not, whether you subscribe or not, this message was for you, especially if you have stayed this long. Anyway, have an awesome, awesome day, night, whatever, weekend, week, whatever it is on your end of the on the end of life, what side of life you are on, whether it's day, night, weekend, or week. Have an amazing one, and I will talk to you very, very soon as the Spirit leads me.